It's the Brian and Kindra Show with Brian Cook and Kindra Cox of Keller Williams Realty Elite.
I am Kindra Cox.
I'm Brian Cook.
Between the two of us, we have over 30 years of experience.
Sharing real estate tips and advice. Right here on Classic Hits 1073.
Good afternoon. It's the Brian and Kindra Show. It has been...
It's been a
I
day.
think it's been 2 weeks since we've been here.
You got jokes, don't
Yes.
you, boss? Yes, you do. Because we did. We had to pre-record for a couple of weeks. Branson
Yep.
was out of town, and 4th of July, maybe, I don't know, something else was
Something was
going on, and
messy.
so, yeah, we did. But here we are. We're live, and today we have a guest. We have Jason Covalt with JW Nursery. JW's Nursery. I told you it's been a day. You're welcome to correct me.
Yes.
Go ahead, say it right. It'd be okay.
I won't be able to. JW's Nursery and Landscaping.
We're
Yes.
really glad that you're here. We appreciate it. And you're like short notice. Like really this morning I was like, so when are you coming on the radio? You're like, tonight. I'm like, sweet.
Great.
We love people like you. It makes it look like I really got my job done.
Got to be flexible.
Yes.
Ain't that the
Yes.
truth?
Man.
Man, we've got some sellers we were working with today, and I was super impressed with how flexible they were. And I'm so thankful for that because it's hard. It's really hard to it's hard to live in your house and try to sell your house. And I mean, I would be the worst seller because I'm just not really organized. I know that's a surprise if you've seen my desk. Shock. Anyway, they were awesome. They were
It's been
killing
pretty
it for
easy.
us.
We had the one yesterday that didn't quite
Speaking of flexible,
flexible. Nothing went right.
that was the closing.
Closing, and it just
Oh my
one
goodness,
trip
it's
up
actually
after
kind of the
another.
closing that just won't end.
Yeah, and then the painters don't show up.
But like Woodward
money
County
doesn't
Abstract
show
has been
up, and-
amazing.
Yeah,
And our painters were not APC. APC was not able to do this job, so
yeah.
just
They-
a little shout out to them. They're awesome. It's not them that didn't
Yeah.
show up. Not them. Not
we
them.
won't say who they were.
No, I think
They
that would
weren't
be
local.
wrong. They were not local, and that just goes to what we always
Back
say:
to our thing, local.
shop local, right?
Right.
Yes. All right. So, what you got?
You mean to talk about statistics?
No, I
you look
don't
at me
want
like,
you
hey,
to.
let's talk about numbers. I need to go to bed.
Can we just get it done?
Yes. Yes. So, but I think statistics are important at telling us where we are at. And so everybody thinks the sky is falling in Woodward, but it is not in the real estate market. We still have 99 listings. And so I do the same numbers every week to keep them consistent. So if you ask another real estate agent, they may pull a different set of numbers. And so,
Let me interrupt.
Okay.
Because not everyone knows what you mean whenever you say that. So, you have a specific area that you pull. You have a
Right.
specific. Are you looking at like 0 to 1,000,000? Where another agent might look at Woodward and
Well,
Moreland.
some people
and,
look up, like, they don't include mobile homes, or they don't include land homes, like homes in the country, or they
Right.
or they just look inside the city limits of Woodward. So my number is all of northwest Oklahoma, Woodward, Harper, Ellis, Dewey, Beaver County. So everything kind of west of Sealing.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. So now we have our criteria.
That's my main area. So like there's 99 listings in that area. There's 9 new listings this week in that area. There are 32 pending listings.
Which
So
is awesome.
Which is awesome. So last time we were here, there were 27. So we've gained 5. We've gained 3 new listings. We've gained 5 closings. Pending in Woodward, Oklahoma, which is 73801, is 19. So out of the 32, there's 19 in the Woodward. And then, I don't know why we need that number. Number of closings in
Did
North.
you pull the numbers?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
It's like a repeat. Okay. This week, in the last 7 days, there's been 5 closings in Woodward.
Okay. Can I say something?
Yes, say that.
Okay, so because you're not going to do it because you just won't. But so of those 5 closings, like I've sent you to 4 of them.
Yes.
Like, hurry, get out of here.
Yeah. So 4 of the 5, we were in control of 4 of the 5 listings.
Which has
that
been
closed
fun. We love
this
that.
week.
We've got some really excited buyers
Yes.
and
And
sellers.
we have one more that we're waiting on funding today. So
Yeah, that'd be
it would
6.
have been 5 out of
So
6.
exciting.
So, so closings, and then there's been 4 withdrawn or expired listings in the last week. So, those will either be relisted or they're rented or, change of
Right.
plans, stay in town. So, the other big number, which is still kind of hard to explain, but there's 9.72 months of inventory. So basically meaning at the current
very
rate,
hard to explain.
at the current rate, if we sold everything on the market and didn't list anything new, it would take us 9.27 months to sell everything. So if you're thinking, hey, I'm going to throw my house on the market and I'm just going to be kind of in the middle of the price range, just I'm not going to be aggressive and I'm not going to be at the high end, it could sit there a long time. So just at a 9-month inventory, you need to be very aggressive on your price. You need to make sure that you are the nicest, best looking. You know, you should probably have the best landscaping.
Yes, I think you should.
To make that thing sell.
I think you should. Okay, I want to just touch a little bit, tiny bit more. So how do I know if I'm aggressively priced? I want to look and see what I'm priced against. So if my house is at $160,000, what kind of price range do I want to compare against to see if I am competitively priced? But here's what's tricky. I like my house best, so I might need my like most blunt and honest friend to be like, hey, your house is cool, but it doesn't have that to help me. So do you agree with that? You want to touch on that just a minute?
Yeah, I think, so when we come out to list your house, we do numbers and numbers and numbers. And we try to justify our numbers, and then we compare it to what's on the market, like visually, like, hey, this house is at $155,000, this one's at $165,000. If it's in this range, our numbers also prove that it's in this range. And if you say, hey, I want 180, you need to listen or justify.
I'm not supposed to make dinosaur noises on the radio. Sorry about that, y'all.
Something. So sometimes that's when it comes in, like when I'm trying to sell my 1970 Cougar, I'm attached to it. Mm-hmm. I have $20,000 in it. I would like to get at least 6.
Right.
If it was running, I could probably get 6, but. So back to that, it's the emotional attachment of somebody owning it. So sometimes it's better, even at a listing appointment, if you want to invite a friend over that's like, hey, I agree with these,
right.
Make sure you get somebody that agrees with us, though.
Yeah. No, I think it's the whole, we had our pastor said one time, like, which of your friends is going to be like, yeah, absolutely, you're right. But you also know which one of your friends is going to be like, hey, girl, I know you better than that.
Yeah.
Like, I have the hey, girl friends. Like, I have those friends. So that's the friend you want to help you when you're looking at your house. You need somebody to help you to be fresh-minded and to be critical. Honest. That sounds terrible, but it's the truth.
That is true.
Yeah, so nobody come over to my house.
Yeah. We're not selling your house. Okay.
No, I'm not selling my house because I love my cute little house.
So we're going to be talking about landscaping and the
terrible landscaping.
Benefits of landscaping and maybe some costs of landscaping and tips and tricks. So we will be back after this short break to jump right in.
All right.
Comfort Zone is a multi-generational company serving Northwest Oklahoma in commercial and residential needs. Plumbing, air conditioning, heaters, refrigeration, sewer and drain cleaning, backhoe trencing, and crane service. And they are your geothermal specialists. Contact them at 580-254-5864 or stop by 116 East Main Street.
It's the 5 hours you spend in the kitchen mastering your famous recipe or spending quality time with your family. Other insurance companies may just see it as a house. It's not just a house, it's your home. Hi, I'm State Farm Agent Kevin Kanzler, and I see your home as the time and memories you put into them. I understand what your things really mean to you, and I'm here to help give them the protection they deserve. My office is located on the corner of 13th and Oklahoma and Woodward, to call me at 580-256-2216 for your home insurance today.
On-Point Land Survey can take care of all your residential, commercial, and industrial survey needs. This family-owned and operated business proudly serves Northwest Oklahoma and Southwest Kansas. These lifelong Northwest Oklahoma residents with over 19 years of experience are ready to serve you with the latest equipment and capable trucks to get your job done. Call On-Point Land Survey today at 580-256-6757 or at 1918 Main Street in Woodward, Oklahoma, or visit their website at onpointlandsurveyok.com. Professional, trusted, local.
This is Todd McHugh
and Jackie Jones
with Woodward County Abstract, Dewey County Abstract, and Fairview Abstract. I would like to thank everyone in Woodward and Northwest Oklahoma for choosing us for their real estate title and closing needs this past year. We will be offering new services in 2020, including bilingual closings, internet closings, and digital abstracting.
We look forward to making real estate closings faster, simpler, and more efficient for you in the future.
We want to thank you for your continued support and business.
Hi, I'm Connie Rowland in the mortgage department at Bank 7. Bank 7 is a full-service bank with over 40 years of combined experience. Melinda Russo and I are a dynamic duo team committed to making your loan process smooth. With a variety of loan products, we would love to sit down with you and discuss your loan options in person, or we offer online and over-the-phone application processing. The Woodward branch is located at 34th in Oklahoma. Find us online at mortgage.bank7.com, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Bank 7 is an equal housing lender in MLS 677297, phone 580-254-0100, where our best investment is you.
All right, we're back, and I do have driving around town, and you can tell the people who love their yards, and they spend time in their yards, and they sometimes I'd say maybe even an artistic flair about their landscaping. I'm sure most of those you've had a hand in, but so, and then there's like the one. Can I say the address on one line?
What?
I
don't think you should say a negative one. Is that what you're going with?
Well, I don't want it to be negative.
I mean, I hate to be a filter here, but maybe I have
Wildwood
to. Oh, stop.
That I think their entire yard is wildflowers.
That's my favorite.
And it, when they bloom, it looks fantastic. And after that, I think, man, that would be such a nightmare to maintain. You know what yard I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't say the address.
I'm not going to say the address, but like whoever that person is loves that. I think they must love their flowers or their wildflowers.
Yeah,
they do.
Like dandelions, I love them. They're my favorite.
I killed those.
But this is seriously the whole yard,
The whole
isn't
yard.
it? I mean,
It
yeah,
is.
flowers.
And then unfortunately, it's like once they die, it's just like, oh, good grief, and they do a good job maintaining it once they get. I feel like they do. I've never. There's a few times I've been like, man, season's over. and so yes, you got to be careful what you plant because sometimes that becomes a lot more work.
Okay, let's start with some history. How long have you had JW's Nursery?
I'm in my 31st year of owning JW's Nursery. So September of 1989 is when I took over. I was in college at OSU, Oklahoma State University. Go Pokes.
I don't think we're supposed to say that here.
Sorry.
Yes.
Anyway, I have my orange on, so I was studying landscape.
Just college, even. So
Right.
tell us a little bit about your roots. God, I'm good with
That's
this
good.
tonight, aren't I?
Yes.
That was an accident.
My grandmother, my mother's mother, had a greenhouse for as long as I can remember. She grew African violets and cacti. So the greenhouse was full of cacti, and then her house was full of African violets. There was one of those nasty old gray metal shelves in front of every window in her little tiny house.
Oh, I know that shelf.
Yeah, I think most grandmas had those. But anyway, so I always came home from her house with a plant, and I would go down there and stay in the summer, and she grew most of her food. So her garden was large, more garden than lawn to mow. And then my dad had a greenhouse built for me in the backyard when I was a little bit older. So, and I had to grow him tomatoes. That was the deal. So I did that.
I think that's brilliant.
It is. I hope these kids are listening because when I get home, it's almost too late now, though. This year.
Almost. So I think that's a cool story because we were visiting with somebody else yesterday on a discoverwoodward.com interview, and they are in the livelihood they are again because of grandparents, and I just think that's kind of cool. But I appreciate that you're homegrown.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so good tonight. Brian's like, we have got to turn off her mic. Yeah, Branson won't do it. We talked earlier. Anyway, okay. So, but I love that you grew up here and you came back here because we are so centered on Woodward that we love where we live, and so we really appreciate that you came back to have a thriving business here in Woodward. And so anyway, okay, so here's like the hot question. Brian's like, you have questions?
Oh my gosh.
Brian thought he was in charge.
Hold on.
You're so not in charge because you're all cool with your paperwork over here, but here's the real thing. So we talked earlier, and you said a lot of people are like, I want low maintenance, but really there's always maintenance, isn't there?
There's almost always maintenance with living plant material, yes.
It's so unfortunate, but you see, once I get them, they don't live anymore.
Well, you see, that's that maintenance deal.
Oh, I'm supposed to do something? Okay, so but for real, here's the thing. So, I mean, there's the whole perennial and annual, and there's another one, right? I don't know what the name would be because...
Well, the perennial plants come back year after year.
Okay, so that's my irises.
Yes.
That I love and have my heart.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there are annuals, and the annuals you plant yearly. They bloom all summer long and are really pretty all summer long, usually.
So like my petunias.
Petunias, periwinkles, whatever. Let's see. There's purslane, rose
Hibiscus.
moss. Now there's tropical hibiscus, and then there's hardy hibiscus. So there are the big, huge dinner plate size flowers. That's a perennial hibiscus, and they come back every year.
Oh, see, I obviously don't know what I'm talking about. So here's the cool thing. Okay, so, or not the cool thing. This is the $1 million question. I always thought, so that's the lowest maintenance is I plant my irises, I plant my daffodils, and all those other things that Grandma had. And then every year they come up and they're beautiful, and I love them, and they make my heart happy, and then they're gone. And then what do I do?
Right. Most perennials, whether that be a tree like a Bradford pear that blooms the white, or a redbud, or a daylily, or whatever, they bloom for 2 weeks and then they're finished.
Right.
And my wife's like, "Don't tell me that. I don't."
I agree. I just thought it was something I was doing wrong.
But no, now they have developed, like there is a Stella Dior daylily and a red daylily that I think it's Pardon Me. And then there are some irises that are all rebloomers. So they bloom once and then they'll bloom again. But not all perennials are like that.
No.
And a lot of people say when you take them in to look at the perennials, they're like, these look like weeds. Because they aren't usually as
right
pretty
now. Yes.
as annual plants are.
Okay, so to keep it a lower maintenance, though, so I would maybe have the perennials, and then I would add annuals to it. Is that right? Did I
Right.
say it right?
Yes, you did.
Hallelujah. It's a miracle.
So you always want at least 1/3 of your landscaping to be evergreen, whether that's a broadleafed evergreen like a photinia or an andina, or there are the juniper type evergreens. A lot of people don't like those, I realize, because they look like the cedars that are out in the pasture, which those aren't really cedars, but anyway, they're junipers. But anyway, people call them cedars. But those are, you want 1/3 of the landscape to be evergreen. And then you can use color and shrubs and perennial flowers, and then leave spots for annual colors or rocks, boulders, whatever, your garden junk. Garden junk is a huge thing right now.
Couch, refrigerator.
Well,
Not that.
I don't think I was supposed to go there, but it's just that throne.
Yes.
All right, awesome.
We have those.
That's a nice planter. Okay, so anyway, I like that. I never. I'm stuttering again because I have to stutter at least once a week. But I hadn't thought about evergreen as being a significant part, but it is, and that is exactly one of the things. I mean, my yard is missing a lot of things, but that's one of the main things that I'm missing.
right, because we're dormant 9 months out of the year. I mean,
Right.
you hate to think about that, but really so there's nothing except things that are evergreen. And first impressions are very important when you're selling a house too.
Yes.
So I think you can sell a house a lot faster if it looks nice and kept.
Absolutely,
Yes.
agreed. And that's one of the things we were talking about earlier. Brian has some statistics on.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Cue the music. No, just kidding.
No, Branson.
Yeah, so right here, I'm going to read one. 94% of top agents, that would be Kindra, they say the great curb appeal equals money in the bank. And there's another one back here that says it was a crazy number, like between 1 and 10% of your, worth anywhere from 1 to 10% of the value of your home. So, and then another one down here that says buyers value your home anywhere roughly from 5 to 12% more if it's eye-catching from the street. So man, 12% of a $200,000 house is $25,000. That's a lot of money that could some greenery, some evergreens.
But am I going to get 12% on my appraisal?
So it comes back to how much swing do we have on our appraisals. So if they're comparing your house to the Wheat Ridge houses and they go squeeze in, I think there could be a 12% swing in some of those houses. Like the top end versus the bottom end, I think there can be.
And even if you don't get that return, don't you think you could move it faster?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yes,
that's the main
absolutely. Thank you. That's exactly what we say a lot of times to our sellers is you may not get the dollars out of it, but you're going to have a lot more buyer interest, which makes for a quicker sale, which doesn't mean that maybe your top dollar is higher, but it means you're spending less money on your next month's payments waiting for a buyer. So yes, absolutely. It's buyer, not incentive, but buyer attraction.
Yes, buyer attraction.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
And time's money, so yeah, absolutely. So I went by a house today. They're getting ready to put it on the market, and they had a whole crew of people there. He said the more we dig, the more we find, and they had a trailer full of old fence panels and posts and gardening, the tomato things, and they were just, and they were there a few short hours last night and about an hour this morning, and it looked a killer times better.
Awesome.
So it'll be, I think landscaping is super important. I don't do a very good job at it. Maybe I don't have the eye for it, but it's patience. Probably the patience.
But I think also, yeah, I think a lot of times that's going to be the end of the remodel. If they're remodeling or upgrading or whatever, the outside kind of is what's put on the back burner.
It is.
And then when they're finished with the inside, there really isn't a budget to do the outside.
Right. So it's imperative that you budget that from the beginning and be ready to do it. And we get it. I mean, especially in a new construction, you don't want to do your lawn or any kind of landscaping until the very end because you're going to traipse all over it and ruin it. But it is imperative. And you mentioned even with a flip house, so often that flippers, that they fail to handle that at the end. And so then they have this really cool house on the inside.
Right.
But you drive up and you're like, oh, it's kind of plain.
Yep. We have this comment about mobile homes. Some of the people, mobile homes are a very efficient way.
Manufactured homes?
Very quick and fast way to get into a home, like 45 days,
Right.
And so a lot of the problems with those when we go to resell them are they don't do any landscaping, no big porches, no landscaping, no sidewalks.
Right.
And there's a big difference between a landscaped house and a non-landscaped house, whether it is a manufactured home or a home.
Absolutely.
And I think people don't see that. You can see it in the manufactured home because it's more prevalent, less landscaping. In town, you see houses without landscaping. You're like, well, that's kind of blank. So I definitely see the 12% there, for sure.
And on a country property, too.
Yes.
I mean, because that's one of the things that I noticed when my kids were younger. Whenever I would show country properties, I'd be like, man, this is a great property. But at first I'd be like, well, there's really no yard for me to contain my little monsters. And then I met my children, and when they were young is what I meant. My daughter will tell you she's a nice monster. She's right. And then of course landscaping. I mean, it would always be plain. It would feel like I would have so much more work to do because it wasn't pretty. So I think country properties as well need to pay attention to that.
Absolutely.
So we probably have to take a quick break.
Yes, we do.
We'll be
Thanks
right
for watching.
back.
Homeowners and business owners, do you want to know how to extend the life of your home or commercial building? Call APC LLC in Woodward. APC specializes in installing high-quality 5-inch and 6-inch seamless guttering and custom commercial guttering. Whether it's a small system or a large system, APC can help. Call APC LLC at 580-571-2384. That number again is 580-571-2384 for all your seamless gutter needs.
Our home is usually our largest investment, and we insure it against damage. One unseen destructive force not covered by most insurance policies is termites, which can infest a house for years before being detected. Termites cost U.S. homeowners an estimated $5 billion annually in treatment and repairs. Using the Centricon termite bait system, JCP Services can protect your home from the threat of a termite infestation. Call 580-334-5380. Again, 580-334-5380.
Stop in to Modern Appliance on Main Street today to see powerful Maytag brand kitchen appliances available in a finish inspired by cast iron. Cast iron black is a hard-working, matte finish that is as tough as it is timeless, so you can trust it to help resist scratches while helping hide fingerprints and minor dents. and stand up to the everyday. Add an iconic look to your home with cast iron black kitchen appliances from Maytag brand. See it at Modern Appliance, 2102 Main, or online at modernappliancewoodward.com.
For 150 years, Sherwin-Williams has been an industry leader in the development of technologically advanced paint and coatings. As the nation's largest specialty retailer of paint and painting supplies, Sherwin-Williams is dedicated to supporting both your do-it-yourselfers and painting professionals with exceptional products, resources to make confident color selections, and expert personalized service that's focused on your unique project needs. Sherwin-Williams is your neighborhood paint store. Stop by and see them, 2101 Oklahoma Avenue, or call them 580-256-5861.
We're back.
We are back.
I beat you to it. Okay, Brian and Kindra Show. We have Jason Covalt with JW's Nursery. We're going to hit on a couple more things. So Brian was commenting during our break about how important outdoor spaces are right now. And I think they've kind of been on the trend anyway, but
Yes.
then with the COVID
Yes, everybody
and all of us being afraid, if you don't say it like that, do you even mean it?
No, you don't.
I know. So with the COVID and everybody's afraid to be out in groups and we just don't have the activities that we usually have, we're spending a lot more time with our families outside.
at home,
So.
and they're like, please go outside. And so they have to have a nicer space so they can leave the kids inside and go outside. So, 'cause, the kids used to be outside, but they kind of wore out of things to do, so the parents are all outside now.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? I
Yes,
don't know
yes.
what you're talking about. Okay, so outdoor space. Brian loves a fire pit.
I do, man. I would love.
Do you build fire
Maybe
pits?
it's just the fire.
I don't build them. I have them in stock.
Oh,
Steel, I don't know what they call it, but
Fancy cut,
mm-hmm.
laser cut.
then there's a couple of them that are called
CNC
fire
machine.
drums. So they're
Yes.
a tall
Mhm.
piece, and one of them has birds on branches cut out all the way around
Do you
the
have
drum.
any with dandelions?
No.
That's probably good. I probably shouldn't have fire.
But yeah,
I
fire
mean, I'd
pits are
like
big.
to.
Any kind of fire, what do you call it? Focal point, or a water feature, a little
Oh,
fountain,
yes.
or if you're really ambitious, a lily pond with the goldfish and the lily pads
Yes,
and the
trickling
waterfall.
water. Mm.
I think I'd feel even worse about the goldfish not making it this time than I would about the plants not making
Yeah.
it. It's really a miracle
Yes.
my kids are well.
We have cats, and if one of them dies, just the fish disappears.
All right, so can one landscape their patio?
Sure.
Tell us how. Or do you want me to tell you how?
I would say you would start with some containers, pots, different pots, depending on what you want. I would use that for your planting of plants. You could do annuals in those, ferns. There are garden accents at the store for outdoor that you can hang on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
We have hanging baskets.
That'd be cool.
So just
I think, the flowers are gorgeous, but like we've talked about a few times today, how bad I am with flowers. Oh my gosh. So the plants haven't died, but there's no more flowers, but still have all this pretty green and these fun yellow pots. And so I still have the pop of color, and I still have something that makes my house look somewhat attractive-ish, except for the stickers, So, there's still a little bit going on. Those pots make a huge difference, and they're worth the investment.
Right.
Brian took home a beautiful one today to his bride from your store, a beautiful blue one, and it's going to last for a long time. It's a good investment for him to take home to the patio. And you've got a great inventory of things like that. And the other thing that...
I'm going to stop you because you said stickers. And that's probably the most important thing we're going to talk about today.
To talk about them.
We do have to. You one time I tested your stuff out, a pre-emergent. You said use this MSMA and then pre-emergent, then MSMA, and then pre-emergent, then MSMA, and you gave me the dates and times. And I did half a trailer park. It was insane the lack of stickers I had that year on that one half. And so it really works if you're willing to do the work. And I think I did that right, didn't I? We got 30 seconds.
yes, that's really good. High yield crabgrass control is what it's called.
It is great. It's a pre-emergent, so you put it down in like
March
and then like in
and June.
Okay.
So you come down. He'll tell you how to fix and do everything. Go ahead.
We need to say where. Okay, so you're located just south of the post office off of 9th Street, Williams Avenue, right? What's your
Yes.
phone number
580-256-1324.
and your hours?
9 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday.
All right, go check out Jason at JW's Nursery.
Thank you.
your new favorite. Classic Hits 107.3 KLSI Moreland Woodward. Tell a friend.